famous as a love coach. So apparently, I am an overnight success. My story has hit the tabloids after my famous client dropped my name in an interview on television. And right at the moment when I feel like I'm a phony, that all I do is just look for the best in people, and somehow that works, is the moment that I become this sensation. Part of me wants to feel more of that fear. I feel the tendency to clench up in my chest, that I don't deserve this, that I want to go back to yesterday when I didn't suddenly have a phone ringing off the hook that I can't even answer, and now I have to hire a bunch more people. It just seems, I see how complicated this is going to be, at least initially. I'm getting offers from everywhere. My lawyer is telling me I need an agent. And the crazy thing is, I don't even think that, I didn't even consider my celebrity client a success. She's been my most difficult client. She takes the longest to do the work that I give her. She gets the least return of my clients, except for those clients that just don't work. She's so inundated in Hollywood and their political correct society that she cannot reformat her programming that keeps the men away. But yet, what little gets through apparently makes a difference to her. If only she would embrace what I'm saying wholeheartedly, she would change and overnight herself. But getting into her programming is like swimming in mud. And just when I think I've pulled her into shallower, clearer water, it gets muddy again. Part of the problem is that she mistakes the attention she gets for love, the attention in interviews, on television, in movies, on press junkets. And she reads all this energy as love, when really, I believe, most of it, if not all of it, is fake and made up to sell magazines. I will call her Penelope to protect her identity. Penelope is so quick to do what I ask. Literally, but she doesn't really get it on a deeper level. For instance, I talked with her about the concept of grace. Grace in her life and relationships. Grace is an element necessary for attracting men. And grace iterates through the body, of course, as we know, a graceful ballerina, but it also iterates mentally and spiritually. And when you allow grace, and mentally and spiritually, is when the actual gift of grace is received. But Penelope can only see grace in physical terms. And so she takes my dance class, my movement class, and I see her working very hard in the physical realm. And I hope, it is my theory, that working in one aspect of the triad reflects through the others. But again, the mud is so thick in her head. She is not graceful in her spirit. She's hungry, ambitious. She puts her total stake in working hard. There is no room for leisure, for breath, for time, where magical moments can only happen. Moments of connection cannot happen in the rush. And because she is this alpha, she imposes her presence on everything. Certainly talking too much. And she tries not to talk, but I don't even think she sees how much she talks. And when I tell her she talks too much, it only offends her. And she spends so much time arguing with me over how women should be allowed equal time to speak as men. And she cannot seem to understand or fathom that women talk far more than men, that men do not talk. Men do not talk. And while Penelope is highly challenging for me as a teacher, as a coach, I am learning so much from her. Besides the fact of this gift, if I can, for the moments when I can see it as a gift, of exposing me and my work on television. Because as I teach the element of grace, because I believe I understand it, I utilize the aspect of grace in my own life every day. I require it. And yet she is my biggest lesson in grace. The place where I'm working the least is the place where I receive the most. The place where I have prayed the most because I have accomplished the least is where I'm given the most. Grace. In direct opposition to works, where we receive fruit from our work. The fruit from grace is so much sweeter, riper, abundant. But we cannot take credit for it. And so we choose works and the abundance and the fruit from works over the skinny returns of works, over the abundant fruit of grace. I am also finding it difficult to move here myself, like I myself am in mud, and I myself doubt my own ability because of what's going on with the demon in me. Am I guilty of exactly what I train my students not to do, being too busy with my own work to be available? But it's really not about being available. I feel like I've been too available for a man that won't commit to me. And on the opposite side of grace is evil. Maybe not opposite. And evil, everyone calls it evil because it's fun and exciting, and people see hell as like a nightclub that never ends. But I am coming to see evil as an isolation, an alienation, a coldness, a loneliness, a disconnection from others, never satisfied. Supposedly, I'm the only one he has ever loved, and yet I am the loneliest with him. He is always gone, always running, never here, never sure, always half-hearted. What would I tell myself? Would I tell myself grace? Think on grace. Grace that he's not here. Perhaps I have missed a bullet. And as the love seems to fade and the excitement is gone, at least with him, and I find excitement in my new opportunities, I look around and I see everyone, the happy people who are happily connected in long-term relationships. And I see the people who are seeking excitement, finding it briefly before it flames out. And people seem to find their happy balance between the two places. And I am a poser because I prefer